The Taichung Tzu Hospital celebrates its 13th anniversary with a sign language performance. We learn why many trees collapsed after the recent typhoon in Taiwan and the proper way to maintain them. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up, Yang Xiaodong from Xiamen, China, suffers from severe ankylosing spondylitis, and on August 13th at the Hualien Tzu Hospital in Taiwan, he just had his last and final spinal surgery. After receiving corrective operations for his spine and having a bracket put in, Yang now looks forward to a successful recovery process. If all goes well, Yang will be able to stand up and walk again in the very near future. The typically shy Yang Xiaodong was so happy that he sang to express his joy. Even though he still has to go through one last operation, just the sight of his spine straightening out lifts his spirit. Before Yang's last spinal surgery, Chen Yinghe, honorary superintendent of the Hualien Tzu Hospital, made careful preparations. The purpose of this operation is to adjust the spinal bracket to allow Yang to bend more freely.
After
3 operations, his spine has slowly straightened out from the original 120 to 130 degrees to the current 30 degrees. We can say we have successfully reached our surgical goal.
During operations, X-rays were taken to confirm that the screws will not touch nerves. The last surgical procedure took a little over 2 hours, but what remains key is the rehabilitation process.
Vertebrae in the hip area have been corrected about 60 degrees, but that's not enough. There's still 30 degrees left to go. So follow-up rehabilitation will be key to stretching and straightening out his spine.
Since the beginning of May, with the medical team's dedication, all 5 operations were very successful. And now, as long as the rehabilitation process goes according to plan, Yang should be able to stand up in the very near future. As this month marks the 13th anniversary of the Dalian Tzu Hospital, medical staff put on a sign language performance to celebrate the occasion. Today, the fledgling doctors of the hospital's inception have turned into experienced health providers and become the pillar of the hospital. Now it's their turn to lead the doctors of the next generation in carrying the torch of Tzu's medical mission. Let's take a look.
13 years ago, the medical staff put on a sign language performance to mark the opening of the Dalian Tzu Hospital. 13 years on, the same team is still here to safeguard the health of patients.
I feel that the chemistry of the medical team here is very positive. The staff of the radiology department need to write reports at night. The clinicians of this hospital are very passionate too. We can call them anytime to discuss the patient's needs.
Putting patients' needs first is one of the things about which the medical team is most concerned. Seeing how the senior doctors treat patients like members of their family, the young doctors are deeply moved.
These senior doctors are the best examples to us. They get up at 5 a.m. to check on their patients, attend a meeting at 7, and start their daily clinic at 8:30. The surgeons have to perform operations too. At night, they have to check on patients again before going home. All in all, it is something we have to learn.
On the day of the annual celebration, these senior doctors lead the young ones in participating in the sign language performance in order to continue carrying the torch of Tzu's medical mission.
Staying in Taiwan but moving to Taichung, we meet a volunteer couple, Zhu Yide and Lin Yuyun, who helps out at the Taichung Tzu Hospital each day. Their life story was made into a DaAi drama, Let Love Be Everywhere, and was broadcasted in 2004. As the Chinese Valentine's Day is celebrated on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month, the couple says the best way to spend the day is to volunteer and extend their love to those who need it the most.
Pushing around the cart and handing out biscuits to the staff, Tzu volunteer Zhu Yide always brings his infectious positive energy to the Taichung Tzu Hospital.
I'm always so happy to see the doctors and nurses.
Almost 80, Zhu still reports to his post every day, and his warm gesture and signature smile always brings joy to others. As the volunteer couple Zhu Yide and Lin Yuyun spend much of their time volunteering, they say it is the best way to celebrate every occasion.
To me, it doesn't feel like Valentine's Day.
That's because we celebrate it every day.
It is the selfless giving and humility that have gained Zhu and his wife the admiration and respect of the medical staff.
They always serve others selflessly, and sometimes they are more thoughtful than our staff.
Master says we should give our love to those who need it.
There are many ways to celebrate each special occasion, but for Zhu Yide and Lin Yuyun, there is no better way to celebrate than to join hands and volunteer.
In 1991, with the help of Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteer Ye Tzu-jing, Tzu Chi began its charity mission in Malaysia. Over the years, regardless of race or faith, Tzu Chi volunteers have reached out unconditionally to countless needy families. From 1991 to 2012, the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter and all liaison offices around the country have taken 790,731 residents under its wing. Here's more.
Every day when I wake up, the first thing I feel is pain. It's an ongoing pain.
My son only makes around $300, and my dialysis treatment costs about $215. We can't make ends meet.
When these people are in pain, Tzu Chi is always there to provide them with warmth and hope. In 1991, Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter began its charity mission by caring for Tzu Chi's first care recipient in the country. These historical photos witness the good work local volunteers have done over the years. Between 1991 and 2012, Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter and all the liaison offices in the country care for 266,226 households, helping a total of 790,731 people. Thanks to volunteers' unconditional love, care recipients' lives have changed for the better. After receiving a bath and a haircut, the senior is all smiles. Over the years, regardless of race or faith, Tzu Chi volunteers have continued their effort to provide needy families not only with financial aid but also emotional support.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for providing us with much needed love and care. If it weren't for Tzu Chi, we would still be living in hardship.
Before, I was like a dying plant on the ground, but Tzu Chi brought sunlight to my life and gave me the courage to stay strong.
This is 83-year-old Tzu Chi care recipient Wu Hua-wo, who makes a living by collecting recyclables and cares for his wife and two mentally challenged children. Although the senior and his family have received Tzu Chi's financial aid, the senior insists on living a frugal life and donates money to help those in greater need.
The subsidies with which Tzu Chi provided us were donated by kind-hearted people, so we need to use them wisely and donate some to help those in greater need.
马来西亚的慈善事业呢，他们能做到呢，济贫转面去救人。很多穷困的人他们是去帮助他，或者是有灾难的时候呢，去抚慰他。不管是抚慰或者是长期帮助的，他们都是这样的陪伴，还要把他呢呼唤出来，发挥他们的力量，投入在救人的团体中去救人。这一点呢，实在是我很佩服的啦。
Over the past 12 years, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for Wang Ba-zhi and her mentally challenged son, Hua Zai. With volunteers' selfless dedication, Wang has regained her smile and Hua Zai has learned to show his love for his mother by feeding her a piece of cake. Seeing the progress this mother-son pair has made, Tzu Chi volunteer Dai Mei Feng is moved to tears.
I am very touched because people always thought that she wouldn't be able to walk out of her comfort zone. Fortunately, our gestures have touched her heart, and now she treats us like her own family.
Seeing the sufferings in Malaysia, local Tzu Chi volunteers have realized it is more blessed to give than to receive. They have also inspired recipients to continue the cycle of love by helping those in greater need.
As city dwellers, we often pass by trees on sidewalks without taking much notice of them. After Typhoon Sulik devastated Taiwan in mid-July, residents were quick to blame the strong winds for the many trees around the island that were knocked over. However, that wasn't the only factor. Incorrect pruning of trees is the major reason why trees fell, as cutting branches between the noots injures the parent stem and prevents the tree from healing properly, and eventually causing it to decay or lose its structural balance. Let's take a look at how to best protect the trees in our daily lives.
Here in Taiwan, the Parks and Streetlights Office of Taipei's Public Works Department works to trim and maintain the trees along the road.
It's not like the forest where they have plenty of space to expand freely. The overgrown areas on the sides will obstruct our field of vision and affect drivers on the road, so they need to be trimmed.
On those streets where there are fewer trees, a gray wash seems to cover the region. In contrast to areas where many trees line the road, there's an overall vibrant feeling. This is a gift that these trees share with city dwellers. The trimming and maintenance of our green citizens is therefore an important task, enabling us to live in harmony with one another.
This part is not right. Here it has been cut too deep. The tree isn't able to recover that quickly.
Every incision is a wound to the tree. A wrong cut can lead to the tree's demise. So the Taiwan government has set standards for tree trimming, but the tree's silence on the issue is detrimental to their survival. Cutting the trees at will without caring for the health of these green citizens has harmed them.
This tree is injured because they cut it incorrectly, as they pruned between the nodes. Look at the tree bark here. It can't heal itself anymore.
Cutting between the nodes causes the parent stem to suffer from bark ripping or decay.
Why were there so many broken branches on the street after the typhoon? It's not because trees are innately incapable of withstanding high wind force, but because we have weakened their structure by pruning incorrectly. Living in harmony with trees isn't just about keeping trees alive, but also about tree safety.
Typhoon Sulik, which struck Taiwan in July, damaged many trees, but not just because of incorrect cutting.
The soil is below the planting area, so when it rains, excess rainwater just puddles at the base, flooding the roots, eventually creating a shallow-rooted tree. That's why when the typhoon blew through, many trees were uprooted. So the design of the planting area also needs to be reconsidered.
Being confined inside a small planting area, these trees are fighting to breathe.
Trees need plenty of soil to help them breathe, so the cement and asphalt around it is already restricting its air. Now humans will continue to control it in unnatural ways, so it becomes very difficult for trees to live.
This old tree near the temple has also fallen ill because of human interference.
They added a planter so the roots have nowhere to breathe and it started tilting.
Dig
a little deeper so I can take a look. See inside, the roots are rotten. When they were planting it, marble slabs were added on top of the soil. So when the roots grew, the slab sliced the roots off.
How do we expect trees to manage with broken roots? We often forget that trees are living things whose livelihood depends on our taking care of them.
Do you know the types of trees near your house? Do you know when their flowers bloom? Have you stopped to observe the tree carefully? Why don't you start with those trees closest to you?
At the musical rendition of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents performed in Taichung, Zhang Lili, chairman of the Taichung Real Estate Development Association, took time out of her incredibly hectic and busy schedule and made it a priority to take part in the performance. Attending every single rehearsal, Zhang found herself transformed into a brand new person. Originally, Zhang was a food lover in every way, enjoying all the garment's delicacies one can imagine. But now she has become a vegetarian and in the process found herself happier and healthier.
In the sign language musical of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents, Zhang Lili, chairman of the Taichung Real Estate Development Association, plays a goddess bodhisattva. Even with her busy work schedule, Zhang always sets aside time to attend rehearsals.
The dedication of fellow volunteers inspires me to work hard and play our parts well.
As a food lover, Zhang once enjoyed feasts complete with delicacy from the land and sea, but ever since she became a vegetarian, she found herself happier, healthier and slimmer.
I don't know how I came across this opportunity. All I know is that I am truly blessed.
Whether before rehearsals or after performances, one can always find Zhang answering phone calls, yet she still remains focused on her performances. Zhang also purchased 150 gifts from the Jinsi product line to share with business partners and colleagues.
I wanted to take this opportunity to share the blessing with others. I'm sure when our business partners and colleagues receive this present, they will also feel blessed.
While these performances came to an end, the seed of love and goodwill will remain in Zhang Lili's heart forever.
The 7th lunar month is not only a month of auspiciousness and gratitude, but also a month of filial piety. In Malaysia, Tzu are on a nationwide tour to perform the musical adaptation of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents. Today, we take you to their performance in Kuala Lumpur, which attracted over 3,000 members of the public to take part.
With each movement in sync and the mind focused in the moment, the 4th performance of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents is taking place here at the Kuala Lumpur International Convention Centre, where 3,000 local residents have packed the venue.
This performance is inspiring. I hope the youth can apprehend for themselves that the performance of compassionate deeds and filial duties shouldn't be delayed.
As the sign language musical makes its debut around Malaysia, local Tzu take on the performing role at each destination. To ensure success, Tzu alumni especially travel to Penang to consult with their peers.
Before, it was our alumni who oversaw these responsibilities. Not until the baton was handed to me did I realize that this is not an easy task. It was a big change for me as I had to learn to be pleasant in my approach with others.
Memorizing and taking notes on each movement, these Tzu alumni hope to teach what they have learned to their fellow peers.
They had their own job commitments and studies. Their willingness to set aside time to practice and always be on time for rehearsals is a worthy attribute.
With the guidance of their senior peers, Tzu will be sure to continue delivering inspiring performances to their audiences.
Tzu volunteer Yao Baozhu and her husband used to sell non-vegetarian food to make a living. After she joined the performance of the Water Repentance Sutra, she learned of Tzu's compassion towards all living beings and later decided to start selling vegetarian food. To keep her old customers around, Yao put in a lot of effort to create a variety of delicious meatless dishes.
I sold non-vegetarian food for over 30 years, like squid soup and rice noodle soup. I also sold drunken chicken through online orders. You know what? Selling 200 plates of drunken chicken legs means I had to kill 100 chickens. 100 chickens died for the sake of my personal gain.
In the past, Yao Baozhu sold non-vegetarian food. Only when she joined in Tzu's Water Repentance Sutra performance did she start selling meatless food.
Since I have cooking skills, I want to make the best use of them to promote vegetarianism. Master Zheng Yan says that making tasty meatless dishes is the best way to persuade people to adopt vegetarianism. That's the goal I strive for as I make each of my dishes.
Yao's talents in cooking and creativity have won over many of her loyal customers.
Many customers have been coming to my restaurant since they were young. They are now about my age. My cooking is just to their taste, so they have followed in my footsteps in going vegetarian.
When she saw non-vegetarian food before, I tried the rice noodles she made. Though she has now changed to making meatless food, it's still to my taste, so I often bring my daughter and grandson here.
Her vegetarian restaurant is different from fast food stores or lunchbox shops, as she does not use too many artificial ingredients. Eating in her restaurant is like eating in our own kitchen.
Providing healthy diets to safeguard the health of her customers has become Yao's mission.
My greatest spiritual sustenance lies in this vegetarian restaurant.
Hoping to combine the strengths of Chinese youth around the globe to work towards the betterment of our society, the Junior Chamber International Taiwan, together with Hong Kong's Dragon Foundation, gathered 100 college students, graduates and working youths from 18 countries worldwide for a cultural exchange to Taiwan. Upon arriving here, the group first visited the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center in Taipei's Guandu to gain a better understanding of the NGO's work in hopes of learning ways to inspire the love in more youths around the globe.
Everyone is in awe as they never imagined the clothing could be made out of PET bottles.
The paper actually came from cement bags.
The candles and cement bag displays are remnants of Tzu Chi's history. It's as if these youths from 18 countries have been taken back in time as they witness the early life of Jingsi abode masters.
Canada is a popular choice for immigrants, and there are a lot of poor citizens, so it's about how we can help them.
There are a lot of elderly people in Hong Kong. The problem of an aging population is quite severe, but unfortunately, the young people don't care enough for them.
Upon arrival in Taiwan, these 100 youth volunteers first visit the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center, where they learn how a non-profit organization carries out its charity mission and generates love around the world.
With this visit, I hope that when our youth return to their countries, they will also exercise Tzu Chi spirit. With a sense of mission, these youths all promise to take the lessons of their successful experiences with them to gather the strength of more youths to cultivate blessings for our world.
We go to the United States at the end of the show. In California, a guest speaker was recently invited to introduce a variety of insects to the students at the Monrovia Great Love Preschool and Kindergarten, while the students of Monrovia Great Love Elementary School learned about the Western culture through reading The Journey to the West. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.